It's commonly accepted that there are 17 Daedric Princes in the Elder Scrolls universe, all of which you probably know of, but in actuality there may be princes that have just never entered common knowledge. It is a fallacy to think that there are only 17 Daedric Princes. It's more accurate to say that there are only 17 Daedric Princes that we know of. The crux of this idea stems from the fact that there are almost 2 Daedra for every Aedra. There are 9 gods and 17 Daedric Princes. This is significant because the Elder Scrolls universe always needs to be in balance, because it is shaped like a wheel on a fundamental level. If you don't know what I mean by that, then please do watch my video on the universe of the Elder Scrolls for an in-depth explanation, because it's quite a complex idea. But as I said, the Elder Scrolls universe is shaped as a wheel, and the Aedra are equal to the gaps of the wheel, while the Daedra are the spokes. If you count the gaps between the spokes from spoke to spoke, then you realise that there is a 1:2 ratio. The suggestion is that the number of powerful Daedric Princes must always be double the number of powerful Aedra. This means that there may be one more major Daedric Prince that we don't know about. The book on Oblivion from the 4th game mentions that just because the 17 Daedric Princes are commonly known because they appear in legends and book after book, does not mean to say that this proves that there are only 17. As I said, there's only 17 according to limited human experience. It's important to note as well, to prove this idea of there being a pattern between the number of Aedra and Daedra, that the number has only been temporarily out of balance, and it's generally been in balance before. You see, before the apotheosis of Talos, and before the splitting of Sheogorath and Jiglag in the Shivering Isles DLC for Oblivion, there were 8 Daedra and 16 Daedric Princes. This fits the 2:1 ratio, and therefore the fundamental nature of the universe. It's also important to take into account that Malakath and Meridia originally were not Daedric Princes, but Aedra, albeit not the most powerful Aedra. So it could be argued that the circumstances in which Malakath and Meridia came to be Daedric Princes was fated in some way because of this imbalance between Daedra and Aedra. But the most important question that we all need to be considering is who is possibly this unknown 18th Daedric Prince. There are a few theories and wisps of information about this, but the fact that the 18th Daedric Prince is unknown is an answer in itself. We genuinely don't know for sure. But let's go over some of the very conjectural information that perhaps pertains to this 18th Daedric Prince. Some think that Verbacchus could be the unknown prince. This Daedra was, and sometimes still is, worshipped by a select few mortals as the patron saint of limitations and impotence. A rather odd title, I know. Verbacchus enjoyed a limited time where he was worshipped by cults across Cyrodiil. However, by the time of Skyrim, as far as we know, no one really worshipped him anymore. Nonetheless, it's possible that Verbacchus constitutes as an extremely weak Daedric prince. Another tenuous possibility is that the realm of the Hist, which is supposed to be a realm of Oblivion, somehow constitutes as a Daedric prince in its entirety. Usually a realm of Oblivion is simply an extension of a Daedric prince, so maybe the realm of the Hist simply manifests from the collective conscience of the trees, and thus counts as a Daedric prince in itself. Either way, it would be a bit odd if this was the case, because no one really considers the Hist as having any real power other than over the Argonians, but either way, it's a possibility. In the end, it all depends on how you define a Daedric prince. Is a prince merely a powerful Daedra, or is there something else that makes up their fabric? Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more Elder Scrolls lore and speculation videos, then feel free to check out my channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.